promising cricketers. But we did have in this country some good cricketers at that time. Trinity College produced some TV Repetiers came from there. Then there was the Lionel Wadsworth, was a famous they played for Ceylon. Then at Anand, of course, there were whole of things, but your school, Nalanda, produced one of the best people at that time. Stanley Jayasinghe, Ashley De Silva, Carlo Vesekara, Valentino Vesekara, I can still remember those names. And they were really a great team. One of the best teams that I ever played against was Nalanda team at that time. I came to Anand and within 2 weeks I got into the team. And there was a furor at that time saying the fellow has been brought down from Trinity College to play for Anand. And of course I went and met Stanley, and Stanley said, Lakshman, you play, man, we are not going to shout where you are concerned. We know you who have been playing for Trinity and so on. And it was more sort of a friendly game. Those games were very friendly. But today it's a battle drawn, now it's quite different. With all these 20-20 cricket coming and 50 cricket coming, and the old 3 days cricket going away and the 2 days cricket coming back, and all that means it's a fast game. Some of us like the game, but anyway, more cricket came in at that time. Textbook cricket came in at that time.
Sir, now during the time that you played for Trinity, you mentioned some of these giants that were in the side, who represented the Ceylon at that time. Now I have heard that you played under Mr. Lakshman Khadirgama.
Correct, yes.
Trinity.
Yes.
Can you go down the memory lane and tell something about the time that you played with Mr. Lakshman Khadirgama?
Yes, in fact, I was senior to Lakshman. 1 year senior to Lakshman. But then when I had to come back to Ananda, I left Trinity early. And then at the end of that particular year, the principal of Trinity called me up and said, now look, Lakshman, you are not having a good team this time. Would you like to play the first term and go away? So I couldn't say no to my old school. But he told me that, you have to play under Lakshman Khadirgama, who is now appointed cricket captain. I said, where I am concerned, it's okay. I mean, to me, Lakshman and we have been schoolboys right throughout our life. No problem. So anyway, he was a good batsman and a good captain. And of course, earlier I played under Lionel Wadsworth, who became a very good left-arm bowler. And we had a whole string of young cricketers, 18 years, like that. But before that, I had the fortune of playing with people like Shockman, then there was Vaduragala, then there was Pilipitiya, Siriman, Imbuldenia. Those are the famous cricketers that Trinity had, and they were all Lion cricketers. And of course, Anand also had Bonnie Vijay Singh, K.D.S. Vimala Sekara. They were very able, Dhanasiri Veera Singh. And I think those are the names that I can remember now very faintly. It's 50 years ago or 55 years ago. But anyway, cricket, as I said at that time, was quite a different kettle as it is today.
I totally agree with you, sir, because, during the time that you all played, it was more a gentlemanly game. As you say, it is not winning or losing that mattered. Exactly what really happened when the great scorer comes to write against your name. He writes not that you won or lost, but how you played the game. That is the spirit, most probably, that you all played.
Yes.
Another thing I want to tell our viewers, I think Mr. Lakshman Jayakodi and late Lakshman Khadirgama, I think they have created a world record, if I may tell you.
Yes.
The simple reason is that they both excelled in cricket and rugby football at Trinity College. They were contemporaries, they played together, and later in life, they were cabinet colleagues in the same cabinet. So it's a very rare thing. I don't think anywhere in the world that you had two players who played in the same cricket team and rugby team becoming cabinet colleagues in a government. Yes. I think that must be a real world record.
Maybe yes, I don't know, I didn't look into that.
Anyway.
But anyway, I must say something about Lakshman. Lakshman is a wonderful man. We all had, of course, Trinity produced some wonderful men about whom I will have to speak a few minutes later. That is about Mr. Honorable Gamini Dissanayake. And of course, my contemporaries were Betty Veerakone. He was also a cabinet minister with us. And Lakshman and I, we were like two very close friends. And it was a shock that we all got that day when he was killed. But anyway, I'm proud of him for one thing, because he never called himself a Tamil or a Sinhalese. He didn't like that word. One day he told me, Lakshman, we have to do something about this problem, and so on and so forth. And he always felt that he was first a Sri Lankan and then a Tamil. I think all of us who went through the period at that time, all of us, we feel that we are all Sri Lankans as it is today, and secondly, we are Sinhalese. There was a very important question I asked one of the bhikkhus when I was at later life when I was there. I asked one of the leading bhikkhus of this country, are you first a Buddhist and then a Sinhalese, or are you first a Sinhalese and then a Buddhist? Now some of the bhikkhus couldn't answer that. And when I say Mahanayaka couldn't answer. Yes. Are you first a Sinhalese and then a Buddhist, or are you first a Buddhist and then a Sinhalese? So it's a very, very difficult question to answer. So these are little things that you come across in politics also. So anyway, Lakshman was that, and we lost a good man in this country.
Sir, it was really a tragedy that we lost a great man who, in fact, if he was living today, he would have been the happiest, because His Excellency, the President Mahinda Rajapaksa, unified this country after 30 years.
I'm sure.
So that he would have been one of the happiest men.
Oh, yes.
Because he struggled hard to see that this country is unified. And as you say, that he always believed that all of us are Sri Lankans, not Tamil, Sinhala, Muslim, Burgher or anything, right, but we are all Sri Lankans, which we can be proud of. And late Lakshman Kadiragama was a great man, a great statesman. I think his name is actually written in gold in the history of Sri Lanka in time to come. And I think you must be very proud that he was your close friend,
yes,
classmate, and you all grew up together and in the same cabinet, all that. So now we were discussing about your cricket career. Now you played rugby also, sir. Can you tell us about rugby? Have you did you take part in the Bradby Shield?
Oh yes. Of course, as you are aware, Trinity and rugby means like ducks taking into water sort of thing. That is because from the age of 8 years we have been, we start playing rugby from the 8th year. And as schoolboys we used to have a del tree under which we played rugby, and there del fruit was the rugby ball as well as little children.
Yes.
And from there we graduate ourselves, and of course to come up in the particularly where Trinity was concerned, to get into the rugby team was difficult. But he was a very good fly half and I was a good hooker. I was front row forward and centre forward. And we played Bradby. 1949 Bradby we lost, but in 1950 Bradby we won. And I played for 2 years. Lakshman also played for 2 years, I think. But in cricket, we both played for 4 years. But every Trinitian has this love for rugby. I think there were more rugby players than cricketers. But now we find a classic example of rugby, where even the remote places like in Heliagoda, in far off Uva, some of the schools even in Batticaloa, some village schools in Polonnaruwa and even Ratnapura area, you find now raga getting very, very close to each other among the people, because one thing, it gives you a good discipline, like in cricket.
Sir, I think we'll take a short break and we will come back again in few seconds.